Hello, welcome to RPTV. I'm Kedar, and today we're bringing you the October 31st, 2024 SDP Planning Committee meeting held over Zoom. The Regent Park Social Development Plan is a community-wide network that aims to promote social inclusion and cohesion and addresses issues in Regent Park. The Planning Committee is a coordinating body of the SDP. The main agenda topic for today's meeting was a review of a draft policy to confront anti-Semitism. The discussion was facilitated by Joel Klassen, co-chair of the Community Building Working Group of the SDP. Joel helped guide the conversation. Emotions ran high as participants shared their concerns and perspectives on this complex subject. Now let's go to the discussion.
So now, anti-Semitism and a community response. Waleed, you were going to lead this one?
I just want to provide some context. So this item was requested by Sarah Jane in previous meetings and also the Agenda Planning Committee. Unfortunately, Sarah Jane was not able to join us for this meeting. And it was also brought to my attention by one of our co-chairs, Safety Network co-chairs, Leonard, who unfortunately is not able to attend this meeting. But the concerns that I have heard is, certain community members of the Jewish faith felt very unsafe in the community because of incidents related to anti-Semitism. And I just want to remind everyone that our goal for the social development plan is social cohesion and inclusion. So I just want to share a brief statement that we could all look at, and I'm going to put it in the chat, Joel. So if you don't mind just putting it in the screen. And it's very brief, but I think straight, and I can probably even share it on the screen, but this is the link to the document. So I'll quickly share it, and then I'll provide. So the statement reads, the Planning Committee of the Regent Park Social Development Plan stands united in our commitment to addressing incidents of anti-Semitism and all forms of hate within our neighborhood and the city of Toronto. It is deeply concerning to witness a rise in anti-Semitism alongside growing incidents of Islamophobia, anti-Black racism, and other expressions of hate. We believe that fostering social cohesion and inclusion is essential for the well-being and strength of our community. It is only through collective action and solidarity that we can build a society where everyone feels safe, valued, and respected. We reaffirm our dedication to working collaboratively with all community members to uphold these values and promote an environment of understanding, mutual respect, and unity. Regent Park Social Development Plan Planning Committee. So that's the statement. I shared it also in the chat, and it does speak to this incident. And I think this is just an opportunity for conversations related to what we could do to be allies to ensure that we send the message that hate is never welcome in our community.
We have Gail.
So a couple things. I think you probably really need to hear from Leonard and Sarah Jane, and so certainly probably the conversation needs to continue. In terms of the letter, I think that you want to have that person who is Jewish, that person who is Muslim, because I think that's where this is coming from. That's my understanding from Leonard. And so maybe them writing the statement is the way to go. But certainly at the top of the statement where you talked about us being against this type of phobia, I think you have to mention all phobias that exist in Regent Park, and then you can indicate that one. But I think this letter has to come from them. And I think you also, and I think now is the time for discussion, those who, because this is about those who support Palestine, those who support Israel, and how we feel. We see it playing out in the US elections. It is playing out in Canada. And of course, because we are a community with both persons here, it also plays out there, right? So what Leonard has said, if we want to really talk to the issue, not around it, he has said, you know, from the beginning of this conflict, we see these anti-Semitic statements and things being posted. I am not Jewish. I don't know what that means. And I was asking him to explain for me. So I'm not sure if we all here know as well. And I know the conflict is long and it's got so much history behind it. And I think one of the things he talked about, well, one of the things Sarah Jane talked about was that, you know, we should be focusing whatever happens, I guess, in the chat related to kind of what is happening in Regent Park and not what may be happening in the world. And then, you know, Leonard disagrees with that. So, you know, I think having dialogue about this and having understanding is helpful. So I'd certainly like to hear from people who post in the chat who are maybe Muslim. I'd like to hear from people who post in the chat or who watch the chat who are Jewish. I'd like to understand because I don't. I do see what they are referencing. Absolutely, I see it. I mean, and I see it not only there. I mean, you see it on television, right? It's there. So you know, it's not even about picking sides. It's for me now. It's about even understanding kind of what the hurt is. And, you know, one can be empathetic, but, you know, you may not agree with one position or the other because we're all going to come down on a side, right? We're going to be empathetic and we should be to both sides, but we're going to come down on a side. And a lot of that is going to be based on our own experiences. I'd like to share a story of a friend of mine. He is actually, and that's why I know so much about Diwali. He's Hindu, and he lived in Trinidad. He moved here, well, over 20 years now. Gay man, he definitely dressed in drag, struggled a lot, of course, and was on the street one night, and some Muslim men pulled up in the car, and they were going to kill him. They had knives out, box cutters, and for whatever reason, a light shone in the distance, and they jumped back into the car and left. The next day, he went to the consulate and got, you know, permission to leave the country, right? Went through that process. So to this day, 20 years later, he feels traumatized. So of course, his perspective is going to be different as much as he may be empathetic. And I'm just saying that, you know, we're human and we come with different experiences. And I don't know, empathy and understanding certainly are needed. That's where I feel, how I feel.
Thanks, Gail. We have Miguel, and I think I'll just say the agenda item is community response to Leonard and WhatsApp. So Gail, I'm pretty sure I'm right when you refer to the chat, you're talking about the chat in WhatsApp, like the Regent Park community chat, just so for people's context.
Yes.
Miguel.
Yeah, I know Michael, I know Sarah Jam, I know a lot of Jewish friends and neighbors. I know Leonard since the year 2016 in Regent Park. And he never came across to me as any controversial person, although he's a funny as hell. And I respect his Jewish roots. I respect everything that the Jewish religion does for their community. I think after October the 7th, people have started to coming out of the closet with information that is a bit controversial. And I respect that. If someone says to me, hey, I'm a right-wing person, okay, so what is the deal? You can support Pierre Poilievre, you can support whatever. I will respect your opinion, but I'm not going to go out and make a mock of you or put you down or attack you. That is not my personality.
Go ahead, Michael.
Okay. So I think part of this happens because people like to define what other people's beliefs are. And I don't know that, I mean, if you're interested, it would be worth hearing what Leonard or I or anybody else might say about those beliefs. I don't know if that's what we should do, but if people are interested, we could. But I can easily see now how this could have turned into what it did, because in some people's minds, they have an idea of what other people believe. Yeah, I can just see how this could come about because of the way people approach other people's beliefs, and don't believe what they say, but believe what they think the person was going to say. So yeah, I have not had any negative experiences not just in Regent Park, but hardly ever at all, really. And I walk around like, nowadays, I didn't used to, but nowadays, very visibly Jewish, and almost always get more positive, well, not just more, but overwhelmingly only positive comments, like maybe 2 negative comments in the last few years, really, out of like dozens and maybe even hundreds of positive comments. So I don't know. In a way, I'm surprised by that because there is a lot of negativity out there, but for some reason it never came to me. So I'm not sure, but I guess I should talk to Leonard and find out more about what actually happened and what he wants to do about it.
Well, myself and then Elena and Brandy, I would just echo Adonis's comment in the chat. Maybe I put a bit of a different take on it, but we don't need to hear from anyone about their beliefs and views. We should just focus on the issue of anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. The echoing part is I don't believe that we want to invite somebody in order to explain what their views are. What brought this to this meeting is a sense of lack of safety. And so if there is anything further where somebody attends this meeting, we need to do it in the terms of the frame that they brought it to us, and then we would move from there. So let them speak the way they want to speak. So that's that piece. I would also suggest that I think it's probably better just to let, like in this case, Leonard decide how he would like to proceed. Like we've talked about this. And if he wants to meet with a small number of people, I think that's reasonable. Let's proceed based on what we hear from him. And I do think that there's lots of complexity here, and Gail has brought in other areas as well, including homophobia. And so where we go.
Hi, y'all.
Hello, welcome, Fardosa.
Hi, can anybody recap, because I just joined in, so I'm kind of want to be updated.
So we're on an item that's anti-Semitism, a community response to Leonard and WhatsApp, and we are discussing, we haven't really heard what the concern is specifically. There's a proposal to write a statement on behalf of the planning committee, and we're just having a discussion right now on a variety of different points.
But what is about that anti-Semit?
That's about as much as I can say right now, that there's been a concern around anti-Semitism that's been raised.
Who raised that? Who raised that? Who raised that?
Sarah Jane brought it to okay, but just
of course she will.
Fardosa, we have a list of people here, so please take your turn, and we're listening to each other.
I want it. First of all, I knew this will happen.
No, Fardosa, you got to go in line. You can't just start speaking. Fardosa, you got to go in line.
I'm not start speaking.
No, you don't get to speak. I'm trying to facilitate this.
It's unfair. It's unfair what are you guys doing. I don't want to listen to in this community when genocide is happening. It's unfair.
Fardosa, you got to take your turn. You've got to take your turn. This is a meeting, and we have a process, and you know the process.
Whether I know the process or not, you guys
Fardosa,
need to be
it's
fair.
okay. I'm speaking. You're interrupting, Fardosa. I did you the courtesy of explaining to you where we're at. Now, please take your turn. I think then we should go from there. And as we can see, this is going to be a complex thing. We're not going to resolve it in a simple way. And I think that we should give it the time that it needs. So those are my comments. Elena, and then Brandy.
Yeah, and thank you, Joel. Yeah, as we are a one community and we believe in the really cohesion and inclusion as a one social big gathering, we have to definitely have each other backs and we support each other. But sometimes, not sometimes, I can say most of the places, most of people, they have that hate. You cannot, prevent that. That's maybe something personal, maybe something is related to the individual. Of course, we should not, go and dig to the depth of this matter because it is not much related to the SDP and SDP really guidelines, but only one thing that it is related to the SDP, and I request the SDP, we can just circulate a very simple, like a reminder email to everyone, as the valid has shown, on a screen, to everyone that we are the one community and we have to respect each other, no matter what type of a belief or idea we have. The argument, it would be as an individual, and everyone has the problem. And definitely, if the problem is in a really high level, definitely they will approach the SDP for the further solution. Otherwise, the SDP, I believe we should not we should not invite each and every individual, because today it would be this part of the hate, tomorrow it would be the other part of the hate, which I don't think so. It would be really much concern of the SDP, and we should not go to the depth of the things. And sometimes it would be very good, even as a person, when I walk, I really face such a hate from other people, other community. But the best things is the ignorance, because that might be his or her personal issues, maybe even not my issues, maybe the person that has just say something to you. And the ignorance always is the best, and it works, to the highest one. So that's the things that we have to go as the SDP group, just circulate a very brief and reminder email to everyone and even to the community that this is a one community, that we have to support each other no matter what we are, what our beliefs, and what type of a really religion we have. We talk about only one community. That's it. That's the things that I want to tell. And I feel we should just, stop arguing about this type of a personal matter, that it goes very, very deep, even it's not reaching to any result. Because this type of a argument, hate, never it would be ended. In somehow, it is the personal arguments and personal beliefs and the disbeliefs of the community. Thank you.
So there's a request to read the statement. Waleed, do you mind either sharing screen again or just reading the statement for us that you've proposed?
Yeah, sorry, my friends. I'm getting a call from Ali. He wants to speak to this item. He's raising his hand, but is not acknowledged. So, Ali,
yeah, I don't see. Sorry, Ali, I don't see your hand.
Ali, go ahead, brother. You called me. Yeah.
Well, let him, maybe he can, but no, Waleed, probably better if he can unmute. It's better than to speak through your phone.
Yeah, and try to unmute Ali and try to speak.
You see, it's a human issue. If the one it has extensions, because when a superpower like our number one in the world, USA, ignore or support one side, then we should ask why. And this is not, and the media covers the truth. It's not showing what's really happening and just focus on October 7th. This is something which is unfair and unjust. Go back to the roots of the story. Israel was established for a colonization purposes and on a fake media, on a fake story and took their lands by force and by the support of British at that time. And the United States continues on the same path. And what's happening in Gaza, which is the worst massacres in history, to kill children, to snipe children, to kill women, to bomb hospitals, to bomb schools, to kill the doctors, nurses, journalists, to starve the people. Are we crazy? The whole world is watching. I am an open person. And one time on the island, Toronto Island, there was a woman and two women and a man. And they are new to the island. I am familiar with the island. I know it because, and they ask me where is the best place in the island. I'll go. Well, the whole island is beautiful, but Central Island is. I told them where are you from, and they say they are from Israel. I told them, do you know where I am from? But they guessed the wrong. But then I told them I'm Palestinian, and we talked. And I know there was a lot of brainwashing and fake. And they thought I am a historian or teacher of history. I told them, no, I have a degree in engineering, but this is what we learn. This is something common. I thought that they think they have wrong information. Here, okay, I'm not a terrorist. I'm not to fight or to threaten anyone. Even I was born in Lebanon. My parents fled Palestine in 1948, and I was born in Lebanon. Even in Lebanon, I'm not going.
Ali,
Yes.
we want to hear your voice, but I just want to ask you to remember that this is a meeting that's focusing
Yes.
on a community response. And maybe there's other spaces where we
but
could have your voice talk about your life and so on, because there's so much there. There's so
yeah,
much
yeah,
that
but
you need to share.
just I want to finish it. Let's
But
be
just
open
if you can ask
to
me to do
each
it
other.
quickly.
Okay. Let's be open to each other and talk in a peaceful way. Here, you see, in Canada, whether the Palestinians or the Israelis and there are many Jews who are pro-Palestinians, and they understand Zionism, and they know that Zionism is not is against what their belief, against Judaism. There are many Jews, and they are pro-Palestinian. They don't agree what Israel and what Zionism is doing against the Palestinians.
Ali,
This is a human issue.
Can I ask you to summarize, please?
Yeah. Well, this is a human issue. If we didn't take it as a human issue and try to take the right side and to know, you see, and improve soft skill, our knowledge, increase our knowledge, and improve our soft skills, and to be open to each other, then this is, I think, when we do these good things, to be open to each other, to increase our knowledge, to improve our soft skills, then the community in Regent Park and even everywhere, and we can be close to each other, and we start to be understand each other, and to get a result, a conclusion, to stand on the right side of history, not on the bad side, or and repeat the history of World War of Hitler and Nazism. Then we didn't learn anything from history. We should stand up as Canadians, as people everywhere, stand against what's happening, genocide, massacres, and this will get the world to stop. Also, those politicians who are puppets, follow orders, they are not showing the truth. Well, we should understand. You see that all of this is one unit. I cannot separate Regent Park from Toronto, from Canada, from the US. we should work and work as one unit. We cannot have different opposites. So that let's focus on human values, on soft skills, and openness and knowledge, and not to be blind or close-minded.
Can we move on to another person, Ali? Is that okay?
What's that?
There's other people that want to speak.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Ali.
Yeah,
Thanks for that.
So, yeah,
There's a
so
lot
I
there. I want to summarize quickly.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I want to remind people we have another agenda item. We got 25 minutes left. So I think we need to try to land on where we're going to go with this. And I think it's not going to be a final thing. It's just going to have next steps. That's all. So can you make suggestions on your next steps, please?
Let's make Canada great.
Can we read the statement, Joel, which is what we're discussing?
Okay, go ahead,
Yeah,
Waleed.
I'll read the statement. Yeah, so I just want to, first of all, acknowledge there's a lot of pain with this topic. And that's because we have members of the community that are either of Palestinian origin or have family in Israel. This is a conflict that's impacted not just both communities, but the rest of the world. We've got the rulings by the International Criminal Justice, ICJ. We have the United Nations pass motions. But what I want people to just do is compartmentalize it. This is not about the Israel and Palestinian conflict. We're not talking about that. I want people to be very, very cognizant that this is a statement that I'm going to read next that's focused on one community member and not just who brought it forward, but there were other community members that shared their concerns related to safety because they were being attacked because of their faith or background. If I was attacked because of how I look or my background, I will expect that level of solidarity from everyone in the community. If Colin is attacked, if Adonis is attacked, if Elena is attacked, if Fardosa is attacked, if Ali is attacked, we need to, Gail, Rabia, whoever, Michael, I hope I didn't miss anyone. If any of us is attacked, I think it's critically important for us to send a message that hate is not welcome in our community. It's never welcome. Our goal as a social development plan stakeholders table is social cohesion and inclusion. We cannot achieve social cohesion and inclusion when members of our working groups or the leadership of our working groups or the co-chairs of the working group are feeling unsafe. And it's regrettable that the folks that brought this forward were not able to attend this meeting to speak to the experiences so we could build empathy. So my friends, I just want to remind you, please, let's not focus specifically on this conflict and this this genocide and the rulings and everything that we want to say. I want us to just focus on the statement. So I'm going to read the statement and let's try to build consensus on what message we want to send as a planning committee. So I'm going to share the screen one more time. And I hope this makes sense. So give me 1 second. The statement reads as follows. Statement from the Planning Committee of the Regent Park Social Development Plan. The Planning Committee of the Regent Park Social Development Plan stands united in our commitment to addressing incidents of anti-Semitism and all forms of hate within our neighborhood and the city of Toronto. It is deeply concerning to witness a rise in anti-Semitism alongside growing incidents of Islamophobia, anti-Black racism, and other expressions of hate. We believe that fostering social cohesion and inclusion is essential for the well-being and strength of our community. It is only through collective action and solidarity that we can build a society where everyone feels safe, valued, and respected. We reaffirm our dedication to working collaboratively with all community members to uphold these values and promote an environment of understanding, mutual respect, and unity. And that's it. That's a statement. We want to ensure that this information is sent out on all forums, saying we understand that members of our community are impacted by this incident, and we do not condone it in any way, any form of hate. Because if we do so, we are not going to achieve our goal of social cohesion and inclusion. And there were suggestions that I read in the chat to reference what's going on in the Middle East. But I just want to let you folks know, when Sarah Jane spoke to me about this and Leonard, they didn't want reference to what's going on in the Middle East. They don't live in the occupied territories. They don't live in Israel. What they're talking about is their experiences in Regent Park, being members of this community. And that's what they want to focus on. So I just want people to appreciate that, and please to compartmentalize, to put those two topics separately. Yes, there's some connection, but we want to build a better society here in our community. So please think about that. Thank you.
So Fardosa, and I'm going to ask, I guess, Michael, you want to speak as well, but I'm asking people we want to move towards closing this item so that we can move forward. And I'm going to suggest that we're not ready to make a decision on this statement. We just don't have time today to make a decision on the statement, but we can continue to consider this. But please, we need to move towards closing so we have a little bit of time for our final item. Or else we just defer the final item to the following week. So we have Fardosa, Michael, Miguel, and Rabia.
Okay. Hello?
I can hear you, Fardosa. I believe we can hear you.
Okay. So basically, I have been dealing with Sarah Jane since last year. You know Joel. Rabia knows. First of all,
careful, Fardosa, she's not here, so let's not talk too much about people that aren't
really
present.
don't care. I don't care if she's not here.
It's not fair to talk about people that aren't present.
I don't care. She should be present. If she wants to talk about this topic, she should be present.
It's not courteous.
No, Joel, everyone here, I'm gonna call out. Joel, when it comes also Walid, Adonis, Gail, and there's a people that I cannot point finger at, but every one of you guys are complicit of the genocide. You guys do not care about when it comes to people of Palestine. You do not care when it comes to people of Palestine. I don't care if what Sarah Jane and Leonard requested, if it's not connected to the occupied state of Palestine. I do not care. It affects me. It affects the people who lives in Regent Park, who is also Palestinian. You can't comfort certain people and dismiss other people's emotions and their feelings. They see their families every day being bombed. It's just disgusting. I'm literally shaking right now. It's not fair what you guys are doing. Whatever, all of us are going through anti-something. All of us are facing difficulty. They are the only people who's facing difficulty. I'm afraid to walk on the street wearing the kafiyah. How many incidents that happen to people who is brown people, Arab people, Muslim people, who lives in Regent Park, and we cannot even go to a shop alone because we feel fear. But we have to sugarcoat or comfort a certain group of people. Walid, I am ashamed of you. I'm telling you right now, I am so ashamed of you. I don't see the inclusion and cohesion you guys talking about when it comes to Arab or when it comes to Muslim. I do not see that. You guys are all fake. Leonard, as soon as I put these pictures on the WhatsApp group, he calls them fakes. These babies that are being blown up, he calls them fake. I'm done. I am done. I am done. Gail talks about supporting the LGBT community. But when it comes to the Muslim, she doesn't. She doesn't even care about Palestinians. Palestinians are human beings, just like you. You have been oppressed. You have been going through oppression. So, but you do not care about them. I have not seen one person showing any support. But you want me to listen about Sarah Jane and Leonard, their request? If we are going to come community, we have to support everybody. No matter what religion or what gender they are. But if everybody cares about their own, don't expect, especially people, my community, to support every other community. But when they don't get the support, right now, there's a babies being killed every single morning and every single evening. A whole family is being wiped out. And I'm done. This is not a community. This is not how community works. You can't bring anti-Semitic when a genocide happened. Whether you guys like it or not, there are people who people who's killing another group of people, whether you like it or not. Sarah Jane, last time we welcomed her to come and do Holocaust on behalf of community building, but she has to run it. She didn't want to run it. She wanted us to run it. Nobody runs Christmas. If anybody brings up about Christmas or anything to do with Christmas, anything to do with Christianity, they need to run it. Same old Muslim. That's what our group stands for. But she does not want to do that. She wants us to run it. And I'm not going to run it. Anything to do with Holocaust when a genocide is taking place. I raised my case.
Miguel, Rabia,
Yes.
Thank you very much, Cardoso.
Yeah, I just want to say quickly, because we have another item on the agenda, this draft motion that we are proposing today, let's share it with our friends who have requested this meeting so they can provide some input and they know that they are being heard and listened to. And not to just show, it's not a form of favoritism, it's just understand that they are Regent Parkers. We are Regent Parkers, all of us. Black, white, brown, Asian, we all one Regent Park. And as hard as it sounds, we had to work together. We had to put aside these differences for the better good of the community. Thank you.
Rabia, Waleed, Elena.
Did you get me on that list?
Oh, my apologies, Michael. No, yeah. So Michael, Rabia, Waleed, Elena, and then Adonis. It is 10-3, folks. We're not going to get to the other item at this point.
Okay, so I think the statement is.
Is it my turn?
Can you hear me?
It's Michael's turn, and then Rabia. Sorry, Rabia. Michael reminded me that he had put up his hand before. It's Michael's turn.
Go ahead, Michael. No worries.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you, Michael. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think the statement is useful for what it is, and I think that maybe the different aspects have to be dealt with, but not together, right? I mean, the statement is one thing. Maybe some discussion of the actual issues is another thing. I'm not saying they go together. I'm just saying we may not be able to do without both. I mean, I certainly don't agree with what some of the people have said about what is going on in the conflict. And I don't know if we're going to be able to completely stay away from talking about that at some point. I don't try to talk about it that much, actually. and I'm not even saying right now what I disagree with. So I'm not really trying to have that conversation, but given that some people do want to, they might not be satisfied with just a statement that doesn't reference it. So what I would suggest is that the two things be done, but separately, if they're both going to be done. The statement is fine as it is, but if people want to have other discussions about the issues, they should not feel that they can't. I don't think we're all going to agree on what, is the right side of history. But if one step is to have some discussions about that, that's fine. But I do agree it should be kept separate from the response to the immediate situation.
Rabia, Waleed, Elena, Adonis.
Okay, thank you. It's really interesting to hear how people, I heard lots of voices, amazing. We never heard them talking about the genocide that's going on overseas. We never heard them letting other people talk about it. Because I heard last year in the same exact committee, someone raised and said, well, I'm sad that there's a genocide going on. Someone said, well, we here are talking about problems in region, and it's called SDP, which is Regent Park related. And then the same person now and today in this meeting highlighting how horrible is that. It's so hypocrite. It's really hypocrite. And that's okay to be hypocrite. It's okay. Just be hypocrite. And I feel so sorry, for who? For those Muslim people who are the friends of those hypocrites. Rather, they are hypocrite like them, or they don't know. So I'm praying that, Ya Allah, one day they will discover the real face of those people as they see them really hypocrite. So you're going to say for sure, many of you are going to say, well, Rabia, yes, because Leonard and Sarah Jane are residents, and they are facing this. Well, Han, I'm going to tell you, hypocrite, listen to me. Ali is Palestinian. He has his whole family tribe is there. Can we acknowledge that? He has youth. His daughters expressed how they are devastated by this. Can we acknowledge those youth? Can we acknowledge his wife? Can we acknowledge Ali? No, of course not. Why? Because they don't have power. Because why? They are Muslims and Arabs. They don't have power. You need certain way and certain identity to get the power you need. You do not have space for yourself to express your emotions, but they don't even acknowledge they are international or they are multi-residents. And guess what? It's not only Ali. We have lots of Palestinians, they live in the community. We have a lot of Lebanese. You know how long Lebanon have been getting bombed and kids getting killed? Are we going to talk about this? So you shut down when you want to shut down, and you want to cry when you want to cry. Such a hypocrite. Rather, we shut it down for everyone, as Elena said, or let's listen to everyone. And yes, some people raise other issues. Yeah, and mention other examples. Perfect. Let's just mention everything then. Let's just, as Ali said, let's be open and have that dialogue and everyone express. Myself, I'm being harassed. Last week, police got involved and I have a hate crime report. Someone said to me, die. You know what die means? Do you know what die means? Someone said die, approached me physically and want to attack me with my kids. You know what does that mean? Did they come here and cry? Did they say you have to acknowledge this? No, I know there is a police who is in charge of this. I called the police came, are looking for him, found him, whatever the case is. I moved forward. Didn't come cry here. I wanted to acknowledge this and that. Okay, people are harassing you. Leonard, Sarah Jane, there is a police. There is a police you report to as a hate crime. They will come that. They will love it from you. Me, it was a back and forth. Even was a physical attack. But guess what? I got my people on my side. And I now, after all of those years, I know how to speak up. So you tell me those two individuals, they don't know where to go? They know where to go. Coming here for us, creating more division, more fight, it does not make any sense. This is nonsense. This is nonsense. So when you wanna someone experience someone shouted at or something, oh yeah, we wanna cry. But someone said I have a very bad day, and that person is actually here. I don't wanna name anyone having really terrible day because of genocide. Someone else, no, we don't want to talk about this. We have other things to worry about at SDP. Yeah, worry about today too. I have tons of things at the SDP I want to worry about. So can we also acknowledge other people who are experiencing this oppression and they are going through a lot. Can we acknowledge that, or we don't have space? We need to this hypocrite to end. Rather, you tell us we are included, or you say, you know what, you are. We don't want to listen to you. We want certain people. They are our people, and we're gonna stick with them. That's wonderful. We're gonna let the community know, and myself and my other people, we are not coming to those meetings because we are not included. So please, everyone has his own spot, and we're listening. We know what you are doing, and this hypocrite are coming after us. Thank you. I know that Muslims will have lots of haters, and you know what? I receive it with love. I receive your hate with love. I know it's your individual behavior. You had maybe bad experience with a Muslim lady, a Muslim man. You had a Muslim neighbor. I don't know what happened. Maybe you read about Islam and it didn't go with you. That's okay. I know you are going through a tough time.
Can I ask you to sum up, please?
I'm summing up, and please don't stop me, Joel. I have been listening to you all meeting. It's my time. You listen to me and others listen to me. So please listen respectfully. Cutting me off, show me disrespect. So I saw who you cut. Okay? So listen to me, please. Thank you so much. So this hypocrite you are going through, I understand. You are going through mental health problems, stuff. I understand. I'm going to pray for you. When early morning I wake up in Fajr, I'm going to pray for you to have peace. Because when I say Salamu Alaikum to you and say peace to be upon you, you couldn't hold it. I understand. You don't have peace in your heart for that peace to be upon you. So guess what? I'm going to pray for you. So thank you so much.
Waleed, Elena, Adonis. We have 2 minutes left before 3 o'clock.
I'm just gonna keep it brief, my friends. This has become a charged conversation, an emotionally charged conversation, because there's an ongoing genocide. The world is in shock. A whole community, many communities are impacted. If you read the statement, it focused not only just on anti-Semitism, but also on anti-Black racism, on Islamophobia. And the reason why this request was made was for us to discuss it. This came from members of the SDP Planning Committee. If Rabia, you, or Fardosa, or anyone was attacked in our community because of being Muslim or because of wearing hijab, you will expect solidarity from the Planning Committee. You will expect us to reject that form of hate and discrimination. You will want us to reaffirm that you have every right to live in our community and to practice your faith, or practice not just your faith, but also your culture, who you are, express yourself without any fear. Our goal is social cohesion and inclusion. Making accusations, attacking each other, attacking me for putting forward a statement to try to make it very clear to everyone that everyone belongs in this community is completely unacceptable. And I'm really disappointed in you, Fardosa, for starting that trend in this meeting. I have there's no question about what my position has been. I've been to rallies. I've spoken in the media. I have been shadow banned. Okay, I have spoken to very powerful people about this matter, and I've expressed my unconditional support for human rights. Nobody on this earth is less human than any other person. Everyone in this community belongs. Everybody. And we cannot take it out on each other. How are we going to build a better future for our community We have to stand in solidarity with each other when one of us is attacked. And if you are attacked, I will actually recommend you bring it forward. We can send a message clearly. But if you haven't even read the statement, you have not even read the words in the statement, you've come into this meeting emotionally charged, willing to bite off or attack anyone that does not have the same opinion as you. And we sadly share the same opinion. We share the same opinion, which is we all must respect human rights. Whether you're Muslim, whether you're Jew, whether you're Christian, whether you're Hindu, whether you are, whatever community you belong, it doesn't matter. You belong in Regent Park. And I will always stand up for everyone in my community. I will always stand up against hate. I will always stand up against discrimination. And most importantly, I will always stand up for you. So let's not attack each other. Let's try to build allyship. Let's build empathy so that people appreciate that there are other human beings that are impacted by this conflict and it's impacting people here. But let's not attack each other. And that's why this statement was put together. It was to acknowledge that no harm is not welcome in our community, any form of harm. So please don't attack me, don't attack other people. We're just trying to send a message that our goal is for social cohesion and inclusion, and everyone belongs in our community. Thank you.
Thanks, Waleed. It is 3 o'clock. Are people able to stay for another 10 minutes? Maybe it'll be 5, but can people stay for 10?
Yes, that would be good. Yeah, because we have to just reach to the conclusion. So I'm going, very quickly. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Waleed. Thank you, everyone. I understand this is a very, very delicate matter. The war is not only in Palestine, the war is all over the world. Even in Ukraine, people are dying. Even in Iran, people are dying. In Pakistan, in Afghanistan. But the things that the SDP is responsible for it is just, bring back the community together through the understanding, make each other knowledgeable that whatever differences you have, put aside, but just count yourself as a one community. And as a person, I agree with the letter that the Waleed has made it, from his heart, and I understand that email, when it goes all over, it will give the reminder to the community that please put the differences out and be, together as a one community, no matter what type of a race you are, what type of idea you have, and always support each other. And please don't think that we do not support each other. But we are not the politician that every time go and stand up for the one community. Because if we want to follow only one community, today only, for example, the Palestine, tomorrow we have to go for the Ukraine, the day after tomorrow we have to go for Pakistan, Afghanistan, and so many places that they have a war. So our responsibility is not to really separate these groups from each other, but bring the groups to each other through the introduction of what the SDP is about to. Strongly, I recommend everyone for the agreement of the email or the letter that the Waleed has made it to me, because I read it 2-3 times. To me, it's really good. It gives the message to all the community of Regent Park that please come together. No one hate each other. If someone is attacked you, maybe they have a personal issue. Maybe they have the, I can say, the mental health problem that they cannot deal with it. Maybe they have some past wounds. Maybe they have some other problems. If we have the gratefulness, if we have a forgetfulness as a Muslim, as a Christian, as no matter what you are, so and ignore in somehow, and if you see the same repeated things from the same person, definitely you can get the action. But at the first time, if you want to just involve yourself with the hate, the same hate that the person shows you, that never goes away. This is, my suggestion, and I request everyone, don't think that you are left out, nobody support you. Believe me, this SDP group is supporting everyone. And really, I appreciate the value that they said the matter should come to the SDP, because the SDP has the partial engagement as well as responsibility to address the issue. But we cannot go and solve the problem as a personal problem. Sometimes maybe there are personal problems, but as a SDP responsibility, it should be really address this matter. That's the thing. Thank you very much. Go back to the Jude.
Adonis, and then we need to wrap up, and I'm going to suggest that we basically defer any decisions on this to a future meeting.
Yeah, thanks everyone. I guess a couple of comments that I want to make. I think we have to stop saying this issue is about only two members of the community. It's about a lot of members of the community. As you see, it affects everybody in this community. Certainly there are more people who are from those communities and are experiencing much more pain than others, but certainly it affects all of us. So again, I want to stop this by just saying it affects two people, and only those two people should have their perspectives or have an opportunity to say what those perspectives are. I think this letter is good. What I suggest is that we start by acknowledging the turmoil, anguish, and pain of the issues that we see and hear about in the Middle East and elsewhere. I think that in the second line, it starts with anti-Semitism. I feel that it should be anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, not just the first line where it says anti-Semitism. It should be both. And again, I know you have it later in the issue, but maybe we switch the order: Islamophobia and anti-Semitism, just to make sure that we're not prioritizing one over the other. And I think this was a very fruitful conversation in terms of being able to understand at least opportunity to hear from members of our community around this issue. I know that everybody feels strongly about this issue, but I really think that we need to. Many people will have different views about. We have to acknowledge that there will be, as many people have said, different beliefs and different views and different understanding of the issue. But we need to agree that we want everybody to feel safe, welcome in our community, and that this letter is about that, making everybody feel safe and welcome in our community, that they can participate in our community and have a voice in our community. And with the same understanding that we know that there are differences, and but we shouldn't, as many speakers have gone before me, we shouldn't let those differences stop us from what we're trying to achieve, and which is really social cohesion, and really a safe place where we could work, grow, and bring up our families. So thank you.
So it is 3:10. We have another hand up. Do people want to extend the meeting longer?
I know before the meeting, and I want to say something, especially Walid. He thinks.
So Fardos, I'm going to ask you, if you want to speak without the meeting deciding to extend, I'm going to ask you to really be brief in your comments.
I'm going to be very brief. And this is really direct to Walid. Walid, you said you volunteer. You said this genocide is happening and we are volunteering our time to change the condition where we live. You think while you're volunteering this genocide,
I'm talking about Regent Park, Fardosa. If you misunderstand me,
can you please,
Walid,
attack me?
that is not welcome.
No,
don't you hear she's crying?
I put it in the chat. I said I'm volunteering in Regent Park with the SDP.
Let Fardosa finish.
Please don't attack me. Not welcome.
Let Fardosa finish.
Let me finish. You never said Regent Park, okay? what I'm saying is that your statement is rubbed me wrong, and you need to take accountability. And when people disagree with you, be okay with that. You have a problem not being okay with people when people disagree with you. Yes, I point fingers. Yes, I call not only you. I call Gail. I call Adonis, Joel, all of you guys. I call out. I didn't specifically only call you out. But there is a people who are Palestinian, lives in Regent Park, but family is being built. While their family are displayed 100 times in a day, okay? They can reach out to their family. Do you ever look for them? Because they live in Regent Park. Did anybody of you guys ever reach out? So this inclusion or cohesion you guys are talking about, I'm good again. It's not real. It's only real for certain people. I wake up every day and I see babies beheaded. I sleep at night, I see babies beheaded. Body parts. You got something. With this, with this. Anyone who is feeling is not okay with this. Anyone who has a heart is not okay with this. We have Jews, we have Muslims, we have Hindus, so many religious atheists, and LGBT community. So we live along with each other, even though we disagree each other. But it's not the same, and it affects me. I'm not a Palestinian. It affects me. If this was happening, Ukraine affects me. Congo affects me. Sudan affects me. Because those people look like me. They've been oppressed. By being killed. I'm oppressed because of how I look. Being oppressed, starved, killed. I'm currently because human being in there. I am hurt in Congo. I am hurt Sudan. I am hurt for the only difference is documenting the own genocide. That is what is different.
I'm starting not to understand you, Ferdosa. It's breaking up. I don't know if others can hear.
I don't know what part you didn't understand. You didn't hear. What I'm saying is this cohesion and religion you guys talk about. Reach your community that who's going through their family going through genocide. This community you're volunteering 24/7. There's a people who's hurt, have nobody, and lives in Regent Park. Not the people who just sit SDP.
Okay, folks, there is a request to continue the meeting, but I think there's just more here than we can handle in terms of actually coming to a decision. We've had a lot of time for people to say what you want to say, what matters to you. Clearly, this is an issue that is just very, very painful, as many others have already mentioned. I suggest that we defer this to a future meeting when we have time to shape something more that we can hopefully come to a decision on if needed. So I suggest that we bring the meeting to a close now. Miguel?
We still have 10 minutes before our next meeting. Do you think it's possible to squeeze in the CBOC mediation?
No, I'm not ready to facilitate a whole new item.
We can talk about it, but it is in the document that was shared with the statement. So I would recommend people read it in advance of the next meeting. And then maybe that could be one of the main items that we discuss at the next meeting, while people provide suggestions for changes to the statement. We're not approving the statement. The statement was very generic. It was focused on us basic. I hope everyone reads the statement and not just jump to their own conclusions. The statement is very clear. We're here for social cohesion and inclusion. None of us, whether you're Muslim, whether you're a Jew, whether you're a Christian, whether you're an atheist, it doesn't matter. You should feel safe in Regent Park. Full stop. That's it. And if people want to attack me because I said that publicly, please go ahead. I'm really disappointed.
Okay, we're going to close the meeting now, folks. We're going to close the meeting. So thanks, everybody, and thanks for sticking it out in a really difficult exchange. And just want to wish my blessings on everyone. Take care, everybody.
Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go follow us on our social media platforms. And for more information, go check out our website.